good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, whatever it's like for you. Okay, you can see the sun screaming through the window here, so it's morning for me as I record this. But I just thought that we would do a YouTube version of this lesson instead of the much better looking PowerPoints that you saw, because well, just as a whim. Okay, so yes, it's the geezer in his suspenders and a talking head, but I have a slightly different spin on Antigone, and so that's what I wanted to share with you in the presentation. Antigone, very popular in high schools, partly because of the nature of her heroism, the fact that she is a kind of a counterculture figure, or at least anti-authoritarian, which makes her a real good sell in high school, right? A youth standing up to the older generation who is in fact wrong, and a girl standing up to a male authority who is by definition wrong. Okay. So that is the attraction, of course, of this play. I think that interpretation, however, is wrong. And I have a slightly different spin on it, not 180 degrees. The notion is not that Creon is the hero and Antigone is the villain, but that all of the right is not on one side, including the right of the gods. It's not law versus gods, which I've seen on other YouTube videos. You know, or actually it's, and that's not a bad interpretation because it comes directly from Antigone herself. She says, man's law is not God's law. So that is a very important theme in the play. However, not all the gods are on one side. The gods of Thebes, for example, when you go against a city, you are going against that city's people, and you are also going against that city's gods. Okay, so in fact, the gods would be angry if we do bury Polynices. One set of gods will be angry, Athena, for example. But the gods of Thebes would be angry if you do bury Polynices. The gods of the dead will be angry if you don't. So, in fact, the divine argument is not quite so clear cut as we usually think. Okay, but the opening scene, the prologue, beautiful prologue, and Sophoclean prologues tend to be this way anyway. Before Sophocles, a prologue is a single character giving a monologue that kind of gets us up to speed, giving us the backstory, okay, the exposition. Instead, Sophocles gives us a legitimate scene, two characters talking. Now, it does give exposition, right? One of the first things that Antigone says is, hey, did you hear about this edict that Creon has just promulgated, that Polynices shall not be buried? And Ismene says, yes, yeah, I've heard of that. But one of the great things about this prologue is the way that it gives us a literary foil for the characters. It helps to characterize the two by the use of the foil technique. Now, you probably remember that term from high school English classes. Foil in the literary sense means a way of characterizing one character by contrasting the opposite qualities in another character. So the brilliance of the detective Sherlock Holmes is shown by the lesser brilliance, not necessarily that he's a bumbler, of Dr. Watson. And so in this scene, we have the courage of Antigone illustrated by the timidity of Ismene. That's the foil that everybody sees. What is less commented on, which is less often noticed, is a kind of a reciprocal, symmetrical foil in terms of the nature of love. Antigone tells Ismene 3 times, she says, I do not love you if you do not do this thing with me. okay, bury our brother, then I don't love you. Ismene says precisely the opposite. Her very last words in the scene are, though your errand is foolish, to your dear sister you are truly dear. Okay, I love you. I disagree with you. I think you're wrong, but I still love you. Okay, and those two contrasts are established. Plus, we see a little bit of pluck in Ismene later, so we realize that that it was not just a cop out to say, "Oh, we can't go against the power structure." That in fact, once the deed has been done, she is not backward in um, taking part of it. Then, once the deed is done, she really did want to prevent it from being done. Okay, so that's the prologue, and this this is as good a place as any to start, because this is actually the eighth time I've recorded this, and each time it breaks down and says, "Sorry, something went wrong." Well, I'm sorry too, because I love doing this for my students, but I don't love doing it 17 times. So we'll continue in a later time. So we'll make this just a little bit. Just a little bit shorter. Okay? We'll see you in the next exciting episode.